It's Amy Sherman from MLive and Michigan's Best, and we continue our Cooking with Amy series, brought to you by Michigan Sugar, makers of Pioneer Sugar. And we're going to welcome Miss Kamryn Chasness with us. She is a chef over in the east side of the state, and she runs her very own business called Kamryn's Creations, where she makes cookies and cakes and all sorts of other sweet treats. Chef Kamryn, welcome.
Hi, everybody. I'm so great to be on here today.
We are so excited to have you because you are a true professional, even though you're only 16 years old.
Yes, lots of practice.
Well, that is what makes a great chef, but you also have an underlying passion for baking, right, Kamryn?
Yes, I do a lot of baking and cooking in my free time, so I just started a business, and I mean, it's just taken off from there.
Yeah, it's no big deal. You're 16 and you're on your own business. And you've also appeared on national television cooking shows, right, Cam?
Yes, I was on MasterChef Junior Season 5, Episode 1 with Gordon Ramsay, and then I was also on Bake It Like Buddy with Cake Boss Buddy Valastro.
Oh my gosh. Which one out of those two was your favorite one to be on?
They were both pretty cool, but I did love being in LA for MasterChef Junior. It was such a Hollywood experience, and I got to stay in LA for 2 weeks, so it was crazy.
That's pretty awesome. Well, kudos to you, because I would love to do that myself. So today on Cooking with Amy, you're going to make us a special sweet treat. Why don't you tell us about what you're going to be making?
Today I'm going to be making apple pie roll-ups, kind of like French toast. They're really cool for the plating and looks, and they're also perfect for the fall time, so they're going to be really delicious.
I love it. All right, why don't you get started and we'll talk while you're getting everything together. Now what?
Okay, so I'm going to start by making my apple filling. So I just have one apple here that I'm going to peel.
Now, what kind of apple is that? Do you have a favorite kind to bake with?
I like eating green apples, but I cook with red apples normally.
Interesting. So my favorite apple to cook with is a spy apple, which isn't always easy to find at the grocery store, but you can usually get it at a farmer's market, but it's got a really kind of tart, bright, acidic flavor. I wouldn't want to eat it like out of hand, but to bake it's kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I have a whole case of them that I need to figure out what to do with.
Do you make apple pies with them?
I do, and apple crisps, that's one of the favorite things in our house. Yeah. So we'll have plenty of time, because the great thing about apples too, right now they're in season, but as long as you keep them in a cool, dark place, they're going to keep for a while, and you have great Michigan apples for at least another couple months, and throughout the rest of the winter.
Right. Our apple is almost peeled, and then we're just going to dice it up. This is actually going to get rolled inside of our French toast roll-up, so it's going to be kind of like a sandwich rolled up. It'll be really good.
I know, this sounds really interesting. I don't think I've ever had a French toast roll-up, but I like the idea of it because it sounds like it might even be good for younger kids, like to use with their hands and kind of put it together.
When I teach classes at Crane's, one of my sponsors, I do a class called grilled cheese roll-ups with tomato soup, and this is pretty similar to it, and the kids love it. I make it in my free time when I'm at home. It's really yummy. It's basically the same idea, but with grilled cheese.
Right. This is a sweeter filling. I like that. So this could actually maybe be a versatile recipe where if you say you were in the summertime and you had peaches or blueberries, you could probably make it with a different fruit if you wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. And you could also make it with like savory items. If you wanted to do like a breakfast roll-up, you could do like eggs, bacon, other things inside.
Oh, I like that idea. That sounds really yummy. Now, Kamryn, you're 16 years old. Are you a junior in high school?
I'm a sophomore.
A sophomore, okay. I know you just got your driver's license, which
Yes.
is awesome. How's that been going, driving now?
I love driving. It is so nice.
I bet your mom kind of likes it too, because now she doesn't have to take you everywhere.
Yes.
Speaking as a mom, I can understand that.
Yeah, I have prom practice like every night, and I mean, it's so nice just being able to leave, go to practice, and just drive home. And it's so peaceful too.
That's awesome. So now you're putting this into your skillet. Do you have any butter or anything in there?
I'm going to be adding butter. So I just diced these up. I have a teaspoon of lemon juice I'm adding in, and I'll probably start heating this up.
And why is it important to add lemon juice to your apples?
Well, it's going to make sure that they don't turn brown also while we're waiting, but it will add a little bit of a tartness. It'll make it really good.
Good call.
We have a quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, half tablespoon of Michigan brown sugar. And let me grab the butter.
Now,
I'm gonna throw a little bit of butter in here.
are you using unsalted butter?
I always use salted butter.
Ah, okay. I always use unsalted butter.
I normally add salt when I'm cooking with butter, but when I'm using salted butter, I don't really find the need to add it. So, I mean, it's just an easier way to kind of skip an ingredient.
Sure.
So, let me grab my spatula, kind of mix this around. It'll start heating up. And we're just going to let this cook down for a few minutes till the apples start to become soft. And while it's going, we're going to prep everything else. So once this is done, we can kind of just put it together and cook it up and it'll be ready.
Awesome.
So right here, I have 1 egg and I have 1.5 tablespoons of milk. I'm just going to dump this in. And I can already hear the sizzling, the cinnamon starting to cook. It smells really yummy. I'm going to break up this yolk and kind of just whisk this together to create like an egg wash.
So kind of just like how you would make French toast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, Kamryn, let me ask you something. This is not something that I would normally do, and I bet you would not normally do it, but maybe for those who are culinarily challenged, could you use canned apple pie filling in this?
Oh yeah, definitely. It would be, yeah, that's a really good like alternative if you don't want to like cut up fresh apples and this, or if you're on a time crunch, it would be really great.
Hello, special guest.
Yeah.
I love that. We should give a shout out to your mom, Cassandra, too, because she's acting as your sous chef right now. We keep seeing her hands kind of coming in and out of the frame, grabbing your bowls. So thank you for helping. This is the reality of our situation right now, right? Special guests arrive all the time.
It's so funny because when I was on MasterChef Junior, we had to send in photos for them to use at the beginning, and there's this photo of me prepping a salmon fillet, and it was like a long time ago. And this exact cat has her head poking up over the countertop watching me.
That's awesome. I love that.
So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit and let it keep cooking. We're going to grab our bread. So I'm doing 3 slices of bread for this recipe. It might not use it all, but you could always go back and make some more later. I'm going to start by just cutting off the crust of all my bread and then rolling it out with a rolling pin, or I'm going to be using a fondant rolling pin. I just love how these work. So I'm just using like a serrated knife, trimming it off.
And this is just a regular white sandwich bread.
Yep. And a really good tip for if you're making French toast, you can always, not for this recipe because you're rolling it, it's probably great, but you can always leave your bread out to crispen up a little bit overnight and dry out, and it'll work even better. It'll hold its shape like in the morning when you go to cook your French toast.
Good call. Hello, kitty. Yeah, one of the nice things about letting that bread sit out is that then it absorbs even more of that delicious custard, and so it's just even yummier and juicy.
Yes. I had to lock her in the bathroom before this, but if I shut the door, she'd start going, meow, meow.
Yeah.
So
I'm just waiting for a dog to walk by my house because my dogs will start going crazy right in the middle of this.
So I don't need this crust, so I'm just going to throw this in my trash bowl, which is, I use these in my classes all the time. We do a nice trash bowl to put all your trash in, then you don't have to get up and walk around. It's super nice. So I'm just rolling these out with a rolling pin, just so they're flat, like this. It'll make it a lot easier to roll and work with.
Okay.
I'm gonna stir this up. This is almost good.
I wish I could smell it because I'm sure you got all those warm spices from the cinnamon and then the yummy. It just smells like fall, I bet.
It smells really good. It smells like an apple pie. Like this. And then
if you don't have a rolling pin, you could use a variety of other things to make this flat, right?
oh yeah, a cookie sheet, you could press down on it. There's lots of different alternatives to just get the bread flat. So I also have some cream cheese over here that we're going to use. This is going to add another level of flavor. We're going to put this on the inside, then put our apple filling in and roll it up.
Ooh, yummy. I like this little twist. So you have a little bit of creaminess in the middle.
Yes. So it's softened a little bit.
A little bit. If you needed to speed soften it, pop it in the microwave for just a couple seconds without the wrapper on though, because it'll explode.
We're gonna soften it up a little bit more so it doesn't tear the bread apart.
Can you lift up the your skillet there so we can kind of see the apples as they're just what they look like now? Oh, beautiful. Nice caramelization.
Yeah, nice golden brown, cinnamon, sugar.
That looks awesome.
So I'm just turning this on low now. And I'm going to, oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah, because if it's too cold, it's going to just rip that bread apart. And that's
yeah. And then you won't have a little nice roll up. So we're just doing a nice thin coat on the inside. I'm using my offset spatula. You can use a knife. These are normally used in like decorating cakes. I have about 30 of them sitting in my drawer. They're my go-to kitchen utensil.
I agree. You can use them for anything. You can flip burgers with them. You can, yeah.
I love my offset spatulas. It's funny because I'll do a cake and I used to use like 2, maybe 3, but now I go through like all 30 of them when I'm decorating a cake.
Do you really?
Because when they get dirty, I'm like, I'll just grab a new one.
I would not want to be your dishwasher.
So this is looking pretty good. I got a nice layer of cream cheese spread out. Can you guys see that?
Yep, perfect.
Then I'm going to set this aside because we don't need that anymore and grab a spoon. And I'm just going to take little scoops and put it in the center. So I'm going to grab little bits of these apples that are nice and golden, delicious. So yummy.
Yummy.
Line them up. Around 2 tablespoons of filling. I mean, just depending on your bread size and how full you want it.
I don't think it's bad to have too many apples.
Yeah.
It might be messy, but it's certainly delicious. I like the cream cheese because it's going to help it kind of stick together, isn't it?
Yes. I'm going to kind of roll this up. There's a few too many apples, so I just kind of take them out. There we go. Just like that. And you see it's a nice roll up and everything is inside. And they're so yummy.
So now, because you are the chef or one of the chefs in the family, maybe there's more, do you get the blessing to make breakfast every Saturday and Sunday for everybody?
My dad normally does breakfast on either Saturday or Sunday. When I cook, I normally cook for myself. I make way too much, but I always make so much food, and then we have so much left over, and then the whole family just has to eat it.
What are some of your other favorite things to make besides your famous baked goods?
I love cooking, and I mean, people find it very shocking when I tell them that I enjoy cooking more than I do baking, but I bake a ton. So like cooking, I just love it so much. One of my favorite things I made recently, what did I do? I did a shiitake mushroom and pea like cream sauce. It was so good with my pasta. Seafood is so good. I love making like risotto with lobster.
Well, who does it?
Right?
But I agree with you, Cam. When you bake like for a living, by the time you're done and you come home, you want to do something completely different. And hence that savory, when you get to do that, it's so exciting. You're like, oh, yes.
So our roll-ups are now rolled up and they're super cute. They look just like this with the filling inside, really nice. So I'm going to turn this, the burner's already like pretty warm, so I'm just gonna keep it on low, that way these don't burn. I'm going to put a little bit more butter in our pan to start heating up. And I'm adding about a tablespoon. I did a tablespoon the first time too.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let this just melt down. I have my egg wash right here. Make sure everything's nice and mixed. And I'm just gonna do a nice little roll. Now you don't wanna soak them, otherwise they'll become really mushy and hard to work with. You just wanna kind of roll them nicely. You can do this any way you want, but I prefer using my hands. I have the most control that way. And you just do a nice thin wash. It'll just make it light yellow, but it's gonna brown up so much nicer in the pan.
Okay. So not soaking, just a kind of quick roll, take them out, and they'll have that perfect egg coating on them.
Exactly. And then those little pieces, you can just kind of drip off. Some of my favorite French toast recipes, I actually did a creme brulee French toast. Ooh. And I took second place at the cooking competition. And I can't wait till I can do another one of those. Those are so fun.
Where was that at?
It was at the Maytag store, and it was sponsored by Michigan Sugar.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So I do a lot with them. I use their sugar all the time. I'm using it 3 times in this recipe. So we used a little bit of brown sugar for our apples. We're gonna have some cinnamon sugar later. And then I use normal sugar in that. And then we're gonna dust it with some powdered sugar at the end.
I like it. It's the trifecta of Michigan sugar.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of sizzle this around. Looks good. And then we're going to put these in to start cooking. Turn the heat up, just like that. And they're starting to sizzle a little bit. And I normally start by cooking mine on the seam side down. That way it will stay together while I'm cooking it.
Ooh, smart. That's a good tip. I like it.
Yes. And then neck. Because my hands are a little eggy. Grab this. We're going to kind of clean up a little bit while those cook. Working with a clean station is definitely something I've learned to work with.
It is important. It keeps your mind clear then to do what you have to do.
Yeah. On MasterChef, it was really crazy because everybody had like your own station. And I mean, on the show, when you watch, it probably looks like you have tons of space to like do everything in the world, but it's like not that big. And you have so many ingredients and everything that it gets crowded really quick. And that's definitely something I've learned from being on 2 TV shows is like you have to keep your station clean if you want to be successful. So I'm just kind of wiggling these around so they don't stick. Coating them in that nice butter. Now what you could be doing during this time while they're cooking is prepping your cinnamon sugar mixture, but I had some already ready because I make cinnamon sugar, put some in my cupcakes, I cook with it, put it on. It is so good on toast. So good.
Yes.
Butter,
Yes.
cinnamon sugar, so good.
That's what we always had when I was little was cinnamon sugar toast. It's so good. So yeah, and you just mix up cinnamon sugar, whatever ratio you like. There's not really a measurement.
Cinnamon or whatever, up to you. I'll put a little bit more, just so I don't have to dig back in
So
here.
you're putting this on a plate. So are you going to roll the apple pie roll-ups in?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Okay, I like this.
Get rolled in there.
That's going to give it a nice little crunch on the outside.
Mm-hmm. And these are getting a nice golden brown. So pretty.
And the cinnamon sugar coating would go great no matter if you had peach or blueberry filling.
Yeah.
Even, it would all go really nicely with it.
Yeah, like I talked about at the beginning, there's so many versatile options you can do with like the simple idea of doing a roll up. It just makes it so fun. Other fruits, you can do vegetables, you can do breakfast items, savory items. Anyway, so these are getting nice and golden. They're almost there. You want to make sure you kind of cook them on every side because we did put a little egg wash on there. We want to make sure it gets crisp and cooked. So I got one more side to do after this. Cool. And then we're on to one of my favorite parts, which is the plating. So fun. Everybody, you eat with your eyes before you eat with your mouth. So presentation is super duper important. Colors, textures. It's all about the full package. So So this is looking pretty good. I would say these are almost done.
And the nice thing about these is you're really just browning up the outside. The interior is already cooked, so you don't have to worry about checking to see if it's done in the middle or anything like that.
Exactly. These are looking pretty good. I would say I'll take them out in about a minute. I'll slowly start taking them out and rolling them in this brown sugar. And then I have this cute little plate. I love plating dishes that I'm going to plate them in. It's kind of funny because what I ask for Christmas versus what like other people ask for Christmas, it's like I will ask for a new oven. Other people will ask for a new phone.
I'm right there with you, girl. Those are the things I ask for.
So this one just came out. It's nice and warm. We're going to roll it up in the cinnamon sugar. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I will show you guys. I'll just show you this real quick. I'm gonna come around.
Yeah, come around.
They look so good, like French toast sticks, but they're cinnamon and like sugar and
they're
apple.
homemade and they're stuffed with deliciousness. I love it.
Okay, we're gonna roll our next one.
And that sugar will have a nice little sparkle to it.
Yeah, I love some sparkles.
Now, Cam, would it be possible to make the roll up to the point of putting it in the egg wash and storing it in the fridge for a little bit if you had to, or is it going to get soggy if you do that?
I would think it gets soggy, so I would prep it all and then roll it in your egg wash, like right before you're about to cook it.
Okay.
That would probably be the best way to go if you want to prep this ahead of time. So those are nice and stacked. Turn this off. Now comes the presentation. Favorite part. So I'm going to start with some syrup. Have it right here, and I'm going to just drizzle it on top. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty.
I'm glad you chose a white bowl. That is important.
And then I'm going to grab, I have some strawberries over here that I actually left the green on the top because it's another color. And I'm just going to plate these around. Just kind of set them in some spots just for something else to add.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to grab some powdered sugar. Dust it on top.
Yes, make it snow.
Yes, so pretty. Just like that. And then I have one final thing that I kind of my secret like trick Michigan thing for when I'm home. I have these adorable little edible snowflakes that I play with, and they're so pretty. Perfect for
Where did you get these from?
online for a cake.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh,
But-
you used them on that frozen cake I saw, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was great. There are some really great baking resources online if you're interested in upping your baking game. I'll put some links into our story for people who might be interested in doing that, because you can get some really cool things that you're never going to probably make on your own, but can really add a level of professionalism to your baking.
Yeah. So with that, this dish is complete. I will come up and show it to you guys. It is so pretty.
Oh, look at that, Cam. That's beautiful. I love the snowflakes.
So cute. And the colors are everything.
That is awesome. I love it. Apple pie roll-ups from Kamryn Chasness, who runs and owns Kamryn's Creations. Hey, Cam, where can people get more information about your budding business?
You can go to Kamryn'sCreations.com or Kamryn's Creations on Facebook for all the information about me and my business and my upcoming events.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing your culinary expertise with us, and especially your recipe for apple pie roll-ups. We appreciate it. If you guys want to get more information about Cam or find the recipe for the apple pie roll-ups, you want to head to mlive.com.